Yes, so I just accidentally clicked on the .env file, so I'm gonna trim that away. And yes, so the question was, how do I call the function that is this function here? I go to localhost 3000 /API /concerts, and then this slash is just like slash. So it's like saying this. Localhost API /concerts slash. The last slash is this one. Now I should see the log here. And let's try it out. I go here. Nothing happens. It's like it's loading. Why is nothing happening? Please answer the question. Yes. Nothing's happening because we're not sending a response back. But let's see here if we are seeing console.log2. We're not. We also out commented this. Let's try that again. I think something weird here is going on. I think maybe the request was like still being the browser kept requesting the API, which we saw here too. Anyways, how do we run this function? We go to the URL here. So now we see two. Nothing's happening here. Why is nothing happening? Because we are not responding with anything. Okay. So when you work with routes and APIs, always get that kind of going first. Make sure you call the right function. Yes. Now you see that there is this async keyword. Async, and then we are awaiting here. And can someone write down what this means? What is the async await all about? Yes, it means that we are working with promises. So when we do this function call here, Knex on concerts, it is a promise. That means that selecting the concerts takes a little bit of time. The Knex library needs to make a connection to the database. Say, hey, database, have you got all the concerts for me, please? And then it returns with those concerts. And that's where the promise gets resolved. So what are we doing here? We are waiting until this promise gets resolved. We could also write it another way, which would be like the .then, and then like concerts, and then, log out the concerts. This would be another way. But we are using async await because that's like a bit more nicer way, I think. So that means this is asynchronous code. This takes a little bit of time, this line here. So when this has been gotten, then we go to the next line. And then we respond with the concerts that we got. Yes, so you see we're using like a Knex function here. Where we're getting that Knex function from? We're getting it from the database file that we took a look at just before. You don't need to think too much about that. That's just how we kind of create the connection. Yes. So now let's see what happens when we try to do this. If you want to know how to use Knex to do different commands, then what you can do is you can Google Knex cheat sheet. You can see it's also coming here. Let's try and Google it. Cheat sheet. And here there is like a cheat sheet or a helper, you could say, for doing different things with Knex. And I would encourage you to use this when you don't really know how to do stuff. So it shows you how to select stuff. It shows you how to insert stuff. It shows you how to connect to stuff, like we saw just before as well. It shows you how to do where statements, joins, etc. All different kind of things, right? That you can use Knex for. So use this as a guide to when you don't really know how to do something in Knex. Yes. So what are we doing here? We are selecting all the concepts. We are waiting until the promise resolves, and then we are responding with those concepts encoded as JSON. Yes, I think before you've used one called send, and when you send, it'll just literally send the string. But when we say JSON, then the response will kind of be encoded as JSON. And let's see how that looks. If I go here to raw data, it just shows an empty array. Okay, so what do you think that means? Try write down the why are we seeing an empty array here? Try write down your answer. Yes, why are we seeing an empty array? It's because there are no concepts. We just created the table. If we go look at the table here and try and select all the rows, we see here that there are no concepts yet. Okay, so we need to insert some concepts. Cool. How do we do that? Insert something with Knex.js using Node. How could we figure this out? How to insert something with Knex? Answer the question. We could go to the cheat sheet and search for insert. Okay. Knex users dot insert, and then it's a function that we give a object. Okay, let's try that. So dot insert. Let's comment these two out and say Knex.concepts.insert. So what do we need to insert? We need to insert a concert. What does a concert have? They have like title, band, venue, created date, all the things that we had here in the exercise. So let's just try maybe and copy this and say, I don't know if this is gonna be, no, probably not. Title, comma, whoops. So we have the title, band, venue. We have the created date. We have the performance date. And then we have the price. That's a little bit nonsense. Yes, let's just put some random stuff in here. Dip, 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 and the price 200 kronor. Okay, so this should hopefully insert a new concert. Let's try it out. We go to the localhost. We reload this. We don't see anything because we're not responding with anything. So this looks fine, I guess. Let's have a look here and see if we can. Oh, this looks weird. If we can see if there's. So it doesn't look like anything happened here. Let's try again. Stop this one. and reload it. And select. No, okay. Let's try and maybe wait for this. Oh, okay, yeah, that did something. Okay, I'm not 100% sure why it's only throwing the error now. I would think that it would throw the error before as well, but yeah. Okay, so we have to wait for the promise to be done before it maybe throws the error, I guess. Yeah, that would make sense. That it's like the SQL first it takes a little bit of time for the error to finish. So we have to wait for that error to be finished. And then we see, then it kind of goes into the error down here. I guess that's why. Error insert into concerts, incorrect date time value 123 for column created date. That kind of makes sense, right? We have specified that this is a date. How can you see that? You can see it in the, oh, sorry. You can see here that we specify that it's a date time. So here we have varchar, date time, and this is an integer. So what we can do is we can just give it like a date time class in JavaScript. So this is kind of how we work with dates in JavaScript, is the new date. You can probably also give it a string with like 11-12-2020 or something like that. I would think so. But let's just give it like the date time for right now. That's what this does. So let's stop this request because we haven't responded with anything. We load it. We don't see anything here, which is good. But now we should see some concerts. Yes, okay, we see 2 concerts, which is good. With the price of 200 and the title and the band and all that. Good. So this is how we insert stuff into Knex. So now I've shown you how to select stuff and also how to insert stuff. So now if we do the selection, I'm changing a little bit around in the files, I'm sorry. So now just like, let's try and select all the concerts and respond with those concerts. So here we see we have 2 concerts. They have like ID, title, all of that. If we go to the raw data, we can see that this is encoded as JSON with like the double quotes and the no trailing commas and all of that. That's what this function does. Yes. But yeah, so I've shown you how to insert stuff. I've shown you how to select stuff. But what you also need to kind of work on in the exercise is how to delete stuff, how to update stuff, and how to select only specific stuff. So maybe you want the concerts where the price is lower than 200. Or we want the concerts where the created date was 2 months ago, or whatever, you know. So how can you start with figuring out how that works? You go to the cheat, the Knex cheat sheet, and figure it out through there. Yes, I guess that was it. So right now we haven't actually been talking about so much about connecting the nodejs kind of with the requests and all that to the SQL, but when you work with Knex and nodejs, make sure you separate things out so that you first get the Knex to run just with kind of dumb data like this, just an object where I write some random stuff. And when you have that working, then you can change it to, for example, let's say I go to concerts/hello, and I wanted to create a new concept called hello, then I would have to like get this value and all that. But that's separate. So first get the Knex thing to work with random data, and then when that works, you can kind of connect it with the request and all of that. Yes, that's it. Thank you for listening.